Podcasting for brands. IamTheHow.com.
102.5 global, online, worldwide. FM.
There we go. So, hi, this is Sound Art Radio, 102.5 FM and online. I'm Dave Clark. I am the How. I'm joined by Paul and Marina. Paul, how are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Marina, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
So, beautiful sunny day outside. So, where have we all come from? So, I know I'm very local, but Paul, you're in Bow.
Yes,
Bow. Where the Bow is that?
Well, it's if you were to stick a pin right in the centre of Devon,
Yep.
That's where you'll find Bow.
Okay. So, I know there's a Bow in Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
A tea estate.
Yeah?
Yeah. But it's not the same one.
No, not the one in London either.
No, oh right. Oh no, of course it's out of the Bow Bells. But it's spelled slightly differently, probably. Don't know. Is it? How do you spell it? B-O-W? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is Bow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Marina, how about yourself?
Just come up from Bigbury, it's only 25 minutes away.
Just from Bigbury. I mean, you know, living in Bigbury. Can you see the sea from your house?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It is lovely. Burr Island is my favourite.
Do you surf? Don't answer that question. Obviously not. Good. Okay. Well, anyway, so it's a business show. So we talk to businesses, charities, any organisation. I always think businesses, charities, etc. all got really interesting stories to tell. So we're going to hear a few of those stories today. So Paul, first of all, tell us a little bit about Dynamic Servers.
So, Dynamic Servers is a website hosting company.
Yep.
So we register domains for companies.
Yep.
We also provide them with hosting for their emails and websites.
Okay.
Our servers are powered 100% by renewable energy.
Right.
So with sustainability being such a buzzword at the moment, it's a hot topic.
So sustainable. So let's say servers and the support domains and all that. I mean that's been around for a long time. But your USP, if you like, is the fact that it's all green power.
Yeah,
green
and
energy.
we offer a 99% uptime guarantee.
Yep.
And we're also just over 99% paperless.
Okay. 99%. Brilliant. And Marina, what business you got? The Devon Garden Foods, is that right?
Yeah, so I run a business with my business partner, Caesar.
Yep.
Caesar Torres. It's called Devon Garden Foods Limited, and we're a plant-based food technology company.
Okay.
So we're brand new. We haven't even started trading yet.
Okay, if you just both lean into the microphones just a little bit, that would help me. Brilliant. So we've got basically two for the price of one today. Because normally we've got one business and one organisation, one charity or whatever. But today we're actually looking at Dynamic Servers, Devon Garden Foods.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of thinking a little while back, 5 minutes ago, I was thinking, oh my Lord, how does that sort of fit together? But the unifying factor is the networking organisation that you've started. So Marina, do you want to just tell me a little bit about the networking thing?
So Green Forward Networking is a networking group, very similar to sort of other networking groups, except it isn't focused on sort of referring leads amongst you.
Okay.
We do want to create professional sort of relationships within the group.
Yep.
But what we wanted to do, we wanted sustainability to be at the core of the group, so that businesses, SMEs, could come along and they could gain insight and advice into how they could implement sustainable frameworks within their businesses.
Okay.
Is that about right, Paul?
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, well, what I'd like to do is come back and look in a little bit more detail at what lies behind the offer of both Dynamic Servers and Devon Garden Foods, but also very much the sort of networking thing. But before we do that, I'm just always interested to know about the sort of background, the journey, and where you started, where you grew up, where you went to school, kind of jobs you've done, and how you sort of progressed into the world of Dynamic Servers. So, Paul, tell us just were you born in Bow?
Yeah, well, I was actually born in Exeter.
Okay.
Hospital in Exeter.
Yeah.
And
good place to start.
Yeah. And so I was brought up in Bow.
Yep.
Always lived there all of my life.
Okay.
I went to school there for primary school, and then went to Crediton as secondary school.
Okay. Yeah.
So my dad's got a haulage company which was started by my granddad back in 1945.
Okay. So what's that called?
RWT Edworthy and Sons.
Yeah.
But we also do concrete, so probably seen the concrete wagons
Yeah,
travelling
yeah.
about sort of
Yeah, I
thing.
think
So
I may have done, yeah.
yeah, so I started working there during school holidays.
Yep.
Went on to evidently drive a lorry, passed my lorry test, and
Okay.
then from that I got interested in engineering, technology, and decided that I wanted to venture into something along those lines.
Right,
So
okay. So driving wasn't going to hold you there?
no, it was interesting, and I did enjoy it when I was there,
Yeah,
but
sure.
I was just too passionate about technology to keep going, sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. So what did you do? Did you go to college, or what? Where did you how did you learn that kind of stuff?
I self-taught with computer repairs and
Right.
bits and pieces like that, but I did go and work for a big telecommunications organisation,
Yeah.
which was based in Exeter.
Okay.
And whilst working for them, I had all the training that I needed.
Right.
And from that, went on to work for a local computer business, where I learned more to do with like the hardware side of things, and then decided I wanted to branch out on my own and start my own business.
Right. And that's Dynamic Services, is it?
Well, that was Edworthy Computing Limited,
Okay.
which that still exists at the moment.
Yep.
And then my passion was website design,
Right.
which I went into that, and with that resulted in us needing better web hosting
Okay. Yep.
efficiency.
Sure.
So we looked at starting our own servers, and we saw the opportunity to have servers which are powered 100% by renewable energy.
Right.
And that's where Dynamic Servers was launched around
that's-
about
Yeah.
2 years ago now. So
Okay. So the idea. So it was born out of another kind of business, but you spotted I'd say a gap in the market.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
100% renewable thing is really quite important, isn't it?
it is. I mean, we've got like around about 90 clients on board at the moment.
Okay.
So we're looking to expand that,
Right.
and looking to take it forward.
Yeah.
And obviously, with sustainability being such a hot topic at the moment,
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to.
And servers use a lot of power, don't they?
They do.
I mean, I
They
think
do.
a lot of people don't know that, but
No.
they really do use a lot of power.
I mean, like said in Iceland, they obviously try to save on that by using servers which are cooled by naturally by having the servers underground.
Yeah.
But our servers are UK based, so obviously it works out well for businesses, especially with insurance companies.
Right.
A lot of them will only accept or give a policy for companies that have got their hosting based in the UK.
Right. Interesting. Because I heard that with all that sort of Bitcoin stuff that was going, along, that the Bitcoin mining and the number of servers was using more energy than places like Iceland were producing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a phenomenal amount.
It's immense.
Amount of energy.
It is immense.
And the projection was, from a very good source, it was basically saying that if it didn't happen, but if Bitcoin was continued its exponential mining growth, that it would, within 3 or 4 years, it would require more energy than the entire planet is producing.
Yeah.
So people just don't get that servers are sucking up vast amounts of energy.
Yeah.
So green servers, very good idea.
Good way forward.
So Marina, Devon Garden Foods, different type of business altogether. So tell us, so where are you born and bred Big Brie?
No. So I was born in London.
Oh, okay.
And Mum moved us down to a village called Thurlestone.
Yeah, no, Thurlestone, yeah.
When I was 8 years old, and been brought up in the South Ham since, and
Yeah.
I love it down here.
And what about work-wise? Where did you? What was your first job?
So I studied event management at Plymouth, and
Okay.
I was very lucky to land an event management job. So I was an event manager for 5 or 6 years.
Right.
I then did my MBA, my Master's in Business Administration at Exeter University a couple of years back, and it was One Planet Sustainability, so it had sustainability thread running through it. So that's when I started to realise how passionate I was about the sustainability side of things and in business as well. And then I became a business consultant, and I've been a business consultant for the last couple of years,
Interesting.
running my, starting up my business with Caesar as well, and obviously Green Forward networking with Paul as well.
Yeah. So that whole MBA. So how many years was that? Was that?
It was 1 year full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was that? Was it quite tough?
Yeah. It was really tough. It was really useful, though. I loved it. The network of people that I built up through the Exeter MBA was fantastic, and what I learned on there was brilliant.
And are you still in touch with your colleagues?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Caesar, my business partner for
Okay.
Devon Garden Foods, I met him on the MBA.
Right.
So I am. I'm a vegan and he's a vegan as well, and we're obviously starting up a plant-based food manufacturing company.
Yeah.
And as Paul was just saying, with sustainability being a buzzword, also kind of veganism and plant-based food is also becoming really prominent as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the phrase plant-based diet, I'd say even 3 or 4 years ago, just not that long ago, was pretty alien for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Plant-based diet was a phrase that's been used by a lot of dietitians in sort of macrobiotics and various other areas, but it certainly wasn't mainstream.
No.
Vegetarianism was kind of more mainstream. Veganism was seen as a bit obscure, but it's just changed radically in the last 2 or 3 years.
It has, and I think that does help with the media and kind of celebrities and things picking up the veganism diet to kind of help them with health-wise, or whether it's because they're doing it animal-wise or environment-wise. People have different angles on it, but I'm really pleased with the fact that it's becoming more mainstream, and it's easier for people like me to walk into Sainsbury's and pick up, butter, which is vegan.
It's a good thing. And, all that sort of weird anger that was around it as well. Like, Greg's, did the vegan
sausage roll.
And got like some...
Have you tried it yet, David?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
That's really good.
Have you tried it yet, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah. See?
Yes, he goes with his fingers crossed behind his back. No, I think, it's very good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Absolutely. Sounds, like a great idea. So, brilliant. So when did you finish that MBA?
So I graduated December 2017. God, that seems like a long time ago now. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, we're going to come back. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about the offer. The detail of what you do. I just want to put a couple of thank yous out. So we had Anne Rainbow, who's a writer. She uses a program I think called Scrivener. And Anne came on the program last week. So if anybody has any aspirations to write that book or that play or that piece of poetry, you can go ahead and do that, of course. But if you contact Anne Rainbow, she will help you understand the process and the tools that will enable you to do that more easily. So that was very interesting. We had Andrea from the House of Marbles. I don't know whether you know Andrea. Do you?
No, I don't know it, but I know the House of Marbles.
Yeah, House of Marbles at Bovey. That was really interesting. So everybody knows it for marbles, of course, and marble runs, but actually it's a global business, very close to here, with operations, as I say, around the world, primarily Australia, America.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's Andrea is amazing. She travels the world, Mexico and
with marbles.
With sourcing all these kind of what did she say? She said an eye to the future and a nod to the past.
Wow.
So traditional toys, but also keeping up to date with trends.
That's cool.
So that was interesting. And then we had Alex from Green Measures, and Alex is based in Totnes. And she is a writer, so she writes social media and articles and editorial for magazines. So she's a proper writer. So she's a journalist, trained journalist, so she knows how to write creatively. So that was good. So let's just talk about that offer a little bit more, Marina. The sort of the what did you say did you mention milk and plant-based foods and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit more about what Devon Garden Foods does.
Yeah. So I'm not as established as Paul's business, so I can't talk too much about clients or anything because we haven't started trading yet. But
the aspirations, if you like, of what you want me to do.
So as we're a plant-based food technology company, the foundations of the business is all technology.
Yeah.
So that basically means we're extracting proteins from UK grown crops.
Okay.
And the first one that we're extracting from, or in the process of extracting from, is yellow split peas to make a
Okay.
yellow split pea milk,
Right.
a pea drink
Yeah.
that we've got the brand for, and it looks lovely and brilliant, and we're packaging it up. We've done market research, so we went to an event in Exeter called Venture Fest, Caesar and I, to get the public to try the milk, and we were really pleasantly surprised that the public liked the milk. We've got a couple of tweaks that we need to make, and we did it between a couple of different peas grown in different places.
Okay.
But yeah, we were pleasantly surprised, and it's basically got high nutritional content. So it's got high protein,
Yep.
it's got calcium, it's got phosphorus, it's got everything that you need in a drink.
Sure.
Whereas the other plant-based milks have low protein and
Okay.
low calcium, so they're not as kind of nutritionally good for you.
Okay.
Not saying they're not good for you,
No,
but
no, no.
they're not as kind of high in nutritional value.
So there is when you go to any kind of supermarket now, there's a sort of vast array of different types of milk, isn't there?
There
so,
is.
Again, a few years ago, you'd have milk.
Yeah.
And then you had like semi-skimmed milk,
Yeah.
skimmed milk,
Jersey
full,
milk. Yeah.
Then you've got the sort of almond milk and the coconut milk
And the
You've
oat
got the
milk.
oat milk.
Yeah.
and now you've got plant-based pea milk,
Pea milk.
which
Mhm.
I've tried,
Yeah.
which is just by coincidence. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening? I mean, the milk world's gone sort of mad.
It has, hasn't it? It has gone a bit mad. I think it's just it's people's different tastes. Some
Yeah.
people don't like oats, some people don't like soy. But what we found is that our target market is essentially going to be sports clubs. So we're B2B, we're and wholesalers. So we're not going to be kind of selling these to consumers as such. We're not going to be putting them on the shelves of Tesco and
Right,
Waitrose.
okay.
We're going to be going to sports clubs. They're going to be our target markets. They're the ones that need the protein
Yep.
in their diet. So we've been talking to sort of chief kind of nutritional people within the sports club.
Sure.
And they've been really interested in our product, so they're going to be trialing it for us. So that's kind of our route to market. But I think it's people's tastes vary. So I really like oat milk. I know people who really like soy milk. I know people who really like almond milks, and I'm not a huge fan of almond milk. So
But the thing you've said there is that the milk that you're looking to manufacture and provide, that's UK grown, isn't it? Did you say that?
yeah, well, it's really complicated,
Okay.
and
Things are complicated.
yeah. So at the moment, it's funny because it's a difficult way to say this, but it's really difficult to get it from the UK
Sure, okay.
because there's not a demand for it yet.
Okay.
So we're having to get it from abroad at the minute, but our aspirations are for it to be British grown, and we want it because we want to. It's a circular economy. We want it all to be grown in the UK. We don't want to have to ship because of the food miles.
Sure.
We're trying to reduce our carbon footprint. So
Absolutely.
our aspirations are for it to be bought and grown in the UK, but that's kind of further down the line when we've got more money to be able
No,
to
absolutely.
put into that.
No, absolutely. And just to remind me, so you went along to was it Venture Fest?
Yes.
Okay, so what's that? What was that about?
It's an event based up in Exeter Race
Yeah,
Course,
okay.
I think it was.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Sandy Park. It was at Sandy
I know
Park.
Sandy Park, yeah,
And it's like a technology based event where startups go along and they showcase all of their technology and their new products.
Okay.
And Caesar and I pitched to a load of judges, and we actually won the event with our idea. So we were really pleased with that. We got an award, and there were 3 different rounds there: pre-seed. There was people different stages of their technology. So you might have. I'm trying to think of a company there that you would know. So you had companies, say, a couple of years old who were there, but they were also trying to pitch for investment to get them to the next stage or to scale up. So Caesar and I won the pre-seed round because we're not trading yet. So we're really pleased with that. We weren't expecting that either.
No, that's amazing. Because I imagine there was a lot of really interesting.
There
companies
was,
there.
yeah, and it was really nerve-wracking. But it was, I think it's because we're both really passionate about sustainability. It all boils down to that, really. And when you know kind of that you're creating a product or a service that is going to be making an impact on
absolutely.
the
And it's all
wider
these
world.
little things that they all add up together, don't they?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
people thinking, well, so we've got a few servers in Devon that's based on green energy, and what difference is that going to make? So you've got some milk, what difference does that make? Well, it all makes a difference.
It's the little things that count.
Absolutely. It's not about this. It's about everybody changing their behaviour in some way that makes that huge difference. Great. Okay, so we're going to come back and talk about that green forward networking. So I just want to mention here that Wavelength is a weekly business show. It's a way of helping to fund Sound Art Radio, which itself is not for profit. Reaches across the whole of the South Hams plus your network, and also it's a great way to support independent media. So if you'd like to get on the show, or you know somebody who you can get on the show, you want to get them to step up to the plate, search Sound Art Radio, or just Google I Am The How, that's all one word, and give me a call. And we've got some interesting people coming up. We've got Daphne from the Exeter Social Enterprise Network next week. We've got Dawn Westlock coming up. She's a business coach, probably in September. Jonathan Forster from Multi-Story Thinking. He's an architect and a designer. And if you're interested, 2020 is when we're looking for people to come onto the show now, which is good. So we're talking Paul, Marina, two different businesses, hosting and food. So the thing that unites that is this whole sort of element of
Green forward
greenness.
networking.
So Paul, tell me a little bit more about the green forward networking. So what's the idea, and how's it going to come about, and why would we be interested?
Well, businesses account for over 18% of all the environmental impact through like waste and emissions.
18 or 80?
Over 18%.
18%.
So it's obviously that's a fair bit of.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Huge
So.
one.
So the idea is I've got two young children, and I want them to grow up in a world where we've done everything we can to prevent climate change, or evidently reverse it. It's a big task, but I want to be there and say that I've tried, sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
So that's really my passion for it. We're looking at an event that we're holding at Plymouth University on the 10th of October. That's going to be our launch event, and that's at the Plymouth Sustainability Hub.
Right.
So you can find out more information on our website, which is www.greenforward.co.uk.
Okay.
And we'll be putting all of our events on there. We're hoping to have some based in Exeter as well.
Brilliant.
So our first event's on the 10th of October. We're currently contacting sponsors. I've been doing that today as well.
And are you getting some traction?
Yeah, we are, yeah. So we're looking for a range of businesses, really. Obviously, at the moment, we've hopefully confirmed that we've got a company that provides energy through like solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
And then other businesses right down to cleaning products.
Okay.
Sustainable cleaning products.
So these people are these businesses that are going to come along to the event as a networking business, or are they sponsors, or are they both?
So they're welcome to bring the staff along. Obviously, the sponsors already provide sustainable options.
Yeah.
The idea is to have them there at the event, invite SMEs, so small and medium-sized enterprises, along.
Yeah.
So that if they want to become more sustainable, obviously the options will be there for them on that day.
So for a business, so Marina, if you sort of look to the future, will you have? It's not just for businesses who are who have green credentials.
No,
it could be for a business that actually aspires to changing the way that they.
Yeah,
work.
definitely. I mean, we want all sorts of SMEs there. So the ones who are currently practicing sustainability within their businesses, and those who have no idea where to start, and everybody in between, because we and it's a really friendly kind of informal space to be able to talk to people as well. So we don't want people to be scared and come along and think, oh no, we don't do anything. We want them to come along and learn and to gain insights from other businesses. So that's what the sponsor is going to be for, really, as well. And we're going to have guest speakers there as well. So it'll only be like sort of 15 to 20 minutes maybe, them talking about the wider context, the sustainability context. We're waiting to confirm the first person who's speaking, but hopefully we've got someone really great. But I can't say who yet, because I don't think we've confirmed.
No, don't worry. We can always. I think the thing to say is that you've got your first event in October. And you're always welcome back here, and just tell us, in 3 or 4 months' time, you can tell us how it's all going.
Oh, great.
That'd be great.
It sounds like a really good idea, and that's not meant in a sort of patronising way, because I don't over network, but I do go to a number of networking events, and I'm quite sort of choosy because there are so many. But it's interesting that you've had this idea of sort of hinging it on a theme, which is obviously very current and embedded within your own businesses. But it's another dimension, isn't it? So it's not just about people meeting other people. It has that environmental thread, more than a thread really. It's built around that whole concept.
Sustainability is the core, and that's the reason why. I think Paul said about it earlier on to you. I can't remember whether that was on or off radio, but about how networking events is all about referrals, and like sometimes it can be quite pressurizing. We don't want that. We want people to come along. We want them to gain value and learn about how they can be more sustainable. And it's small steps. It's not you're going to come to our event and suddenly your business is going to be sustainable. We don't. We know that it's small steps.
Yeah, and I think another thing as well to mention is obviously we don't want companies to lose efficiency. We want to provide solutions that are going to improve their efficiency. With our, sorry, don't want to get too salesy here, but with Dynamic Servers Limited, we can guarantee uptime. Our servers are faster and securer. And that's a bonus, and the price is right, and
So you're basically taking away any kind of barriers that people may have in terms of is it reliable? Yes, it is. Is it more expensive? No, it isn't. Does it give me all the capacity that I need? Yes, it does. Is it green? Yes, it is. Then it's a sort of no-brainer. To sort of put your whatever it is that you host on that kind of server, because it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Again, like I say, we're a family-run business, and it's one of those where we want to give that feel to customers as well, so that if they've got a problem, they can phone us up, because a lot of companies now require support tickets.
Right.
We offer that solution, but we also provide telephone support, so that someone wants to phone me up, they're on first name terms, and it's sort of like, Paul, I've got an issue, and we sort it for them.
That's kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's very, very faceless otherwise. And, you're kind of at the end of not even talking to somebody now. More likely than not, you're with a robot on a chat.
Yeah.
You kind of realise you're not talking to a real person.
No, that's right.
We're talking to a huge database of frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
That's no good, is it?
No.
Not really, because when things go wrong, they're normally a little bit more complicated than the frequently asked questions.
Yeah, that's right. So, like I said, Greenford, it's all about, improving efficiency whilst saving the planet.
So how do people find out more about the green networking? What's the best way?
So the best way, again, is the website. So www.greenford.co.uk. We're on Twitter, LinkedIn.
Eventbrite.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're on Eventbrite too, so I forgot I had a mic. So it's really easy for them to sign up, and it's free, so it's a no-brainer. Just come along and try, see if you like it.
I think it sounds great. I'm sure it'll be hugely successful. So too early to ask you for what people say because you haven't had the event yet, or how often it's going to be? Every month or every couple of months? Quarterly. Okay.
Quarterly, yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, like I said, you must come back and tell us how it's going, because and also get businesses that come along to your event to come here and tell people.
We'd love to.
I mean, that's part of the networking thing, I think. There's a couple of people I can put you in touch with. So Fraser and Ben, Argand Solutions. I may actually have sent you a link to them. They've done a series of podcasts.
They did yes, I remember, And
they're based in Totnes. Their whole offer is based around renewable energy and the grid. So it's the sort of old infrastructure grid and new generation, and the capacity issues in the grid, and how they solve those problems, managing export and import and storage. So I know they'd be really into that, because it's absolutely bang on what they do. So Fraser Durham at Argand Solutions.
Have a look at that.
Make a note of that one. And So who does what? So we're going to sort of talk about Devon Garden Foods. So you've mentioned your business partner, Marina. Just tell us a little bit.
Caesar, yeah. So Caesar and I have known each other a couple of years now.
Yep.
So I met him on the One Planet MBA. He's a geotechnical engineer.
Right.
So he goes offshore and does bits and pieces, but his passion is with Devon Garden Foods. He's actually the founder.
Okay.
I'm one of the directors of the company, but he's actually the founder of the company. He's put a lot of hard work, a lot of research into it. He's a very clever man. Very, very good with his technology and his data crunching. So that's Caesar, and I'm more kind of the business development and the marketing side of things, creating the strategic partnerships, setting up the or the foot in the door with the football clubs and the sports clubs and that type of thing. So
do you work with any partners, or is it just very early days?
I can't say the manufacturing partners that we're working with, but we have got a nutritionist on board called Robin Eade. So she's Bournemouth based, so she is basically just ensuring that our milk is top notch and has all the essential vitamins and everything in it that a sportsman or sportswoman would need. Yeah.
So you need to talk to another person that I know in that case, and that's Dr. Jan Knight at Knight Scientific down in Plymouth.
Yeah.
And she provides tests. And specifically around antioxidant activity of foods.
Right, okay.
Foods, cosmetics, and she does a blood test as well. But she's interesting to talk to, because if she can't not help is the wrong word, but if she can't shed light on the product in terms of its ingredients and its goodness and all the rest of it, she'll know somebody who can.
Okay, no, that's great. I'll grab her contact off you.
She's definitely worth
Thank you.
Talking to. In fact, I was with her only just this morning. Fascinating business in Plymouth, Knight Scientific. I mean, it is amazing what they do. It is absolutely. I love the fact that you can go onto an industrial estate and you can see all these kind of really pretty boring looking buildings. You open the door and it can be anything. It can be a gym. A lot of gyms nowadays, or it can be a laboratory, or it can be like some kind of weird North Sea technical thing. It's amazing the amount of innovation, that word, you can hear a lot of it, but actually a lot of it is just on these little pretty, ubiquitous industrial estates around.
And you'd never know what's inside until you had it,
It's a whole series of podcasts waiting to be made, which I will in fact make if I can get a sponsor. So if you're out there, sponsor me to make your content come true. So that's brilliant. So other than work, Paul, what do you do? Busy? You're setting up a networking event. You've got dynamic servers. You're in Bow in the middle of no sea near you. You're landlocked, aren't you? So
it's good. We've got 1 hour to each coast. So.
Okay, you're perfect.
Yeah,
you're perfectly placed.
Yeah.
You've got the north coast for surfing, south coast for lounging.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So is that what you do? Just like lounge around?
I wish that was true sometimes. But no, I'm a chairman of a local recreation group. Okay. So I've been busy with that over the last 5 years.
Yep.
There was a need for another football pitch in the local area. Uh-huh. So I've been helping out with that. So we've a field was bought, and in the last 5 years we've looked at developing that. So we've got a football pitch, change rooms and parking facilities.
Right.
And we actually start using it this Saturday.
Okay. Well, this Saturday.
This Saturday coming. Okay. So it's been quite exciting. So
what kind of facilities are there then?
It's just literally changing rooms,
okay.
A kitchen, refs changing facilities, football pitch, And
how I may have missed this because I was fiddling around with my notes, but did you say what kind of age group of people have you got there?
We've got 4 teams using it at the moment, which is 2 youth teams, a local village, Copplestone, and then 2 adults teams which play for the local team. So it's the first team for Bow, and second team they play in the Devon and Exeter leagues. I think Bow's in League 1 at the moment, and the second team is just starting this season.
Great.
And they'll be starting in Division 8.
Wow. So as names have been springing to mind, I may as well carry on the theme. So I interviewed a gentleman, Richard Barnes. He's based in Plymouth. his business is called RGB Services. He's basically outsourced sales and marketing. So he works for a number of automotive companies and so on. But in his spare time, he's a football coach. He's down at I can't remember where it is now, somewhere in Plymouth near Lara Junction. They've got a whole big sports thing there, and he's really dedicated. He wanted to be a professional football player. He got injured, never happened.
No.
He's always maintained that interest in soccer.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
No, there's a lot of people out there that obviously volunteer their time at weekends to. A friend of mine's just had to do his coaching because his son's starting to play for the local team, and I think it was like 4 or 5 weekend, like sort of Sundays he had to go up to go in a few evenings as well. So
it's proper dedication, isn't it?
It is.
It's all weathers. It's fine in weather like this, but it's in the sort of November, kind of freezing cold, where it rained and all that. Yeah. I know. So, and Marina, how about yourself? What are you hobbies, clubs, interests? Not surfing, so we know that. So
I just lounge about, David. No, I netball is a big it's big in my life at the moment, and we've got some lovely coaches who come out and train us. The Premier League One Premier A team from Plymouth, so really lovely ladies.
So do you play like netball all the time? I mean, not all the time. Is it seasonal like cricket? And I mean, is there a netball season?
Been off for the summer and then back in end of August, beginning of September.
So then you compete, do you?
Yes. So first game's in October.
Okay. So do you take it? Is it quite serious? I mean, do you get kind of a bit sort of?
Well, I used to play for. Laughing at me. I am quite competitive. I used to play for North Devon Netball League when I lived up in North Devon. So I was very competitive there. Loved it. For 5 years I was up there, and then came back down to Devon. I was like, I have to play again, because playing a sport is very different to going to the gym, and it's just you get your competitive juices flowing. So, but apart from that, I love food. Anybody who knows me knows I love my food.
Vegan food?
Yes, my vegan food. So I'll go around pretty much the southwest scouting out all the good vegan restaurants.
So, and how, I mean, because I heard an interesting comment the other day from somebody on the radio about vegan food, saying that, rather than it being a limiting factor in people's diets, it actually is a sort of liberating thing. Because
definitely.
people eat a lot more foods that they otherwise wouldn't eat. So your typical sort of meat and 2 veg person, then a vegan person will be eating a whole range of different
Well, this
foods.
is it exactly. So I went to Totnes Food Market on Sunday, and I was in the line for Big Kebabski, which is a vegan stall.
Right.
And I got chatting to another lady there, and we were saying the same thing. So she'd turned vegan 18 months ago, and she was like, I was getting so bored of my meat and 2 veg. And we were talking about sort of vegan moussaka, which I know that you have in your local pub, and really, really good. And but it's the flavours that you make the veg, because people stick flavour onto steaks and onto chicken and hunter's chicken, and they just smother it in cheese and tomato. So you might as well get a load of fresh and nice and good for you veg, and put your seasoning on there, and you can make a really lovely dish. So I think it is a bit more experimental. And
no, it's good. I mean, I think it's it seems to be common sense that we should be eating certainly less meat and less dairy, and if we do eat meat and dairy, we should be consuming it and manufacturing it in a more sustainable
Well, I've got a
way.
fact for you, not that I want to preach or anything, but according to PETA, I'm not sure how you pronounce the charity, the global charity, but there's 2,400 gallons of of water for just 1 pound of meat.
Yes.
And that is quite scary, really, because we don't need to be eating that. Particularly, they say not to eat so much red meat now, don't they?
Right.
And for that much water to be going into meat anyway, when it could be used elsewhere for people who need it. So, it's quite scary.
No, absolutely. So, again, carrying on my theme of interesting people that you should meet, I met with Isabel yesterday, and she actually came on the programme with Gareth and another guest from Gareth from Iridescent Ideas, based in Plymouth. And she's very much involved locally in the River Dart Charter, which is basically working out what we as a community would like the river to be for the future. And as part of that discussion, we were talking about water as a resource, and there's an imbalance of water in the UK, but Thames water actually think within the next year or two, so certainly within the foreseeable future, that in terms of their catchment and their capacity, they will have less water than demand for Thames water for the first time. So it is going to be. So it's not just like you hear about places like India that have run out of water. It's not like Thames Water are saying we're going to run out of water, but it's becoming a problem even in a country like England or within the UK, where it's all water's going to become a big issue. So absolutely, it all plays into the same thing. But the thing is, we're all talking about it. So it's not like it's not like we're not talking about it. More and more and more people. It's more mainstream. And although it can be a little bit depressing, I think also it's a huge opportunity for everybody to do, like what you said, can actually turn it around and tell a really good story to your children when they grow up. They'll be able to look back and think, okay, we all went a bit weird for about 40 or 50 years, but we're okay. Yeah. It kind of wobbled a bit, but we're okay. But we've all got to do something. So I think it's quite positive.
And it's nice to try new things as well. As for example, going back to the plant-based milk, I went up and visited my nan the other day, and she had almond milk in her fridge. I was like, Nan, why have you got almond milk in your fridge? And she was like, oh, because Betty down the road's got it. Right. But and it's not because it's healthy or anything for her. It's because it's like, oh, she's trying it, I want to try it. And apparently it's a bit. And it is about trying it, I think. But until you've tested it, don't shoot it down. It's
I think another thing as well is like allergies and stuff like that with like lactose intolerance.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah. Wow. So last questions. So Paul, what's the ambitions for the business, the dynamic service business? What's the future?
Well, we want to obviously expand. We're looking at trying to get like say 200 to 300 more clients on board.
Wow. Okay.
And that sort of our size at the moment. That would be our capacity before sort of employing more people, more staff, more service. So have you got like sort of
an underground bunker somewhere in Bow with like a huge server?
No. The actual servers are leased in Hertfordshire, where the actual broadband speeds are immense. So we install all the software on those. And so that's where they're actually hosted.
So there's no sort of Amazon-sized warehouse in Bow?
No.
So if you're driving through Crediton and you see this huge shimmering building, it's not there?
No.
So basically the ambition for the short term is just grow the business, get more customers on, and do more of what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, move obviously customers over to sustainable solutions.
Yeah, good idea. And Marina, same question really. What's early days for you? I know, but what's the ambition? Let's say in 5 years' time.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. No. No. We have 5 year. So 2-year ambition, or even next 6 month ambition really is to get investment in. So we're looking for an investor for £350,000.
Okay.
Which is quite scary, but we're focusing on that. We're looking for a private investor, so I don't think we're going to be going down the crowdfunding route.
Okay.
And then the next stage is to get our plant-based milk out there, and then down the road we'll then be producing plant-based cheeses, creams, ice creams, yogurts, that type of thing. So we'll be expanding our variety of food that we'll be producing, and then we're starting to build a database of protein, and this database will crunch the data, and using artificial intelligence we'll be able to produce food which has great taste, texture, smell, everything much quicker than a human will be able to do it. So that's the technology behind it.
Gosh. Okay, so just 2 more names for you to make a note of, because I'll forget them. So there's Amanda, and she has Pro Ice, the Pro Ice brand. So she makes ice cream which is dairy based. So I get that. But it's basically designed specifically for people who work out. So it's got a lot of amino acids and so on. So Pro Ice is the brand. There's a Pro Ice podcast. Should just say actually, if you Google, say you Google I Am The How, which is me, my working name if you like. Google now serves podcast episodes in its search results for the first time today. I noticed it. So if I put in I Am The How, you get my website, and then you get my podcasts in the search. You can play them directly from the search results without having to go anywhere. Brilliant. Wow. So if you put in Pro Ice, Proice, you might, depending on the search engine, get Amanda's offer. But she, I'm sure, would love to talk to you about plant-based ice cream.
Yeah, which
I mean,
is.
you know.
Have you tried it before? Have you tried?
What, Pro Ice?
The Pro Ice or plant-based ice cream?
No, I haven't tried plant-based ice cream, but I have had plant-based milk. So it's very nice. So anyway, talk to her.
I will do.
Lastly,
Thank you.
Gareth, who I mentioned, Iridescent Ideas, he's all about funding. He's not a funder, but he's a broker. So he matches businesses to people who are looking to invest in businesses.
Oh yeah, definitely worth a chat with him then.
And he's in Plymouth.
Thank you.
A lot of the work he does is third sector, community, CIC.
Right.
But doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because if he can't help, he will know people.
Perfect. Thank you.
You can. So we're going to wrap up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for both coming on. It's been really interesting. I think that you made servers interesting.
Yeah.
You laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite good because, you know, it could be quite boring, but it's not.
No.
And you made plant-based food interesting.
Thank you.
That is actually interesting. More interesting.
More interesting than your business.
Thanks, David.
And it's live, can't retract that. But between you, you've got the whole green networking thing, which is really interesting.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So if I can come along to that.
Please do.
Please do.
Oh yeah, I hope that I'll see you there.
So that'd be great. Because, that'd be great. So I'm just going to wrap up by saying that you've been listening to Wavelength on Sound Art Radio on 102.5 FM and online. I am Dave Clark. I am the How. I said that a bit weirdly, but there we go. And I've been talking with Marina and Paul. To get your business featured, give me a call. You can listen to this program again on Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, many other podcasts. Just search I Am The How, Wavelength Podcast, and it will come up in your Google results as from today. Don't forget, this is your chance to support independent media, and thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Podcasting for brands. I am the how.com.